My name is Elena. I am an English teacher. I love my job, but something is wrong. My students do not speak English. They read, they write, but when they try to talk, they stop. They look scared. They say, "I don't know how." Every day I see the same problem. A student tries to answer in English, but then he switches to Spanish. Another student understands a question but cannot respond. I feel frustrated. They study so much, but they do not use the language. One day, I sit in the teacher's lounge with my coffee. My colleague, Mr. Lish, sits next to me. He looks tired. I ask, "What's wrong?" He sighs. "My students don't talk. They just memorize words." I nod. "Same here." I take a deep breath and say, "We need to change the way we teach." Louise laughs. "Change? The director will never allow that." I bite my lip. He is right. Our school follows strict rules. The students use books with long lists of words. They do grammar exercises, but they do not practice speaking. That night, I cannot sleep. My mind is full of questions. Why do students learn grammar but not conversation? Why do they know vocabulary but cannot ask for a coffee in English? I sit up in bed. I need to try something new, but how? The next morning I walk into my classroom with a plan. I smile at my students. Today, no books. They look at me, confused. "No books?" a girl asks. I shake my head. "No books today. We talk." I write on the board at the airport. The students look at each other. "What do we do?" one asks. I say, "You are at an airport. You need to ask for your ticket. You need to go through security. You need to find your gate. Let's practice." A boy named Carlos raises his hand. "But teacher, we don't know the words." I smile. "Then let's learn them. Repeat after me." "Excuse me. Where is my gate?" The class repeats. At first they are shy, but then they get louder. For the first time, they are speaking, not writing, not reading. Speaking. I feel excited. Then the door opens. I freeze. The director stands there, watching. He crosses his arms. I swallow. My heart beats fast. He steps inside. His face is serious. "What are you doing, Elena?" I try to stay calm. "I am teaching English." He shakes his head. "This is not in the book." The students are silent. They look at me, waiting. My hands feel cold. I take a deep breath. What will I say? What will happen now? I stand in front of the class. The director is watching me. His arms are crossed. His face is serious. The students are quiet. The room feels cold. He steps closer. "Elena, where is the book?" I swallow. My hands feel sweaty. "Today we are practicing conversation." He raises an eyebrow. "Conversation?" He looks at the board, at the airport. He frowns. "This is not in the curriculum." I feel my stomach twist. But the students need to speak English. They memorize words, but they cannot talk. They need real situations. The director shakes his head. The school has rules. Follow the book. Do the exercises. I hear a small voice. "But we like this teacher. It is Anna, the shyest girl in class. She never speaks. Now she looks at the director with big eyes." He sighs. "Elena, come to my office after class." Then he turns and walks out. The door closes. Silence. Then a voice. Teacher, are you in trouble? I force a smile. No, don't worry. Let's continue. The students look at each other. Then slowly they smile too. We continue the lesson. Excuse me, where is my gate? Your flight is at gate 12A. Their voices grow stronger. I feel hope, but at the same time, I feel afraid. The bell rings. Class is over. I take a deep breath and walk to the director's office. Inside, he is sitting at his desk. He points to the chair. Sit. I sit. My hands are cold. He looks at me. Elena, I understand your passion, but this school has rules. We use books. We follow the program. I nod. But inside, I want to scream, but the books don't help them speak. He sighs. That is not your decision. You must teach the way we tell you. I look at him. My heart beats fast. I cannot. He frowns. What? I swallow. My voice shakes. I cannot teach like this. It does not work. My students are learning more today than in the last 3 months. They are speaking. He looks at me for a long moment, then leans back in his chair. You are taking a big risk, Elena. I nod. I know. He taps his fingers on the desk. If you continue this way, there may be consequences. I hold my breath. What kind of consequences? He doesn't answer. Instead, he stands up. Go home, Elena. Think about what you are doing. I stand up too. My legs feel weak. I walk to the door. Before I leave, I turn to him. I already know my answer. He does not respond. I step out of the office. My heart is racing. My mind is spinning. What will happen next? The next morning, I walk into my classroom. My hands are shaking. What if the director is watching? What if I lose my job? But then I see my students. They are waiting, their eyes full of excitement. Anna smiles. Teacher, today we practice again. I look at the door. No one is there. I take a deep breath. Yes, today we practice again. Again, I write on the board. At the hotel. The students whisper. They are excited. I turn to Carlos. You are a tourist. You arrive at a hotel. You need a room. Carlos stands up nervously. Hello, I need a room. I nod. Good. Now let's use shadowing. I say the sentence again, slowly and clearly. Hello, I need a room. Carlos listens carefully, then he repeats after me. Hello, I need a room. His voice is stronger now. I smile. Great. Now let's try again. Say it with confidence. Carlos stands up straight. Hello, I need a room. The class claps. He smiles. I feel happy. They are learning. They are speaking. Next, I give them a listening exercise. Now, listen to this short conversation. I play an audio clip of a hotel check-in. The students listen with focus. I pause the audio. What did the receptionist say? Anna raises her hand. She said, Do you have a reservation? I nod. Yes. Now, let's practice reading out loud. I hand them a short dialogue. 2 students stand up. They read the lines. Their voices are shaky at first, but with each sentence they become more confident. Then we move to immersion. I point to the door. From now on, only English. You are in a hotel, no Spanish. The students look at each other. Some look nervous, but then Anna smiles. Okay, teacher. She turns to Carlos. Hello, do you have a reservation? Carlos hesitates, then takes a deep breath. Yes, for 3 nights. The class claps. I feel a rush of excitement. They are really speaking English. But then the door opens. I freeze. It is not the director. It is Luis, my colleague. He looks around, frowning. Elena, what are you doing? I swallow, teaching English. He steps closer. You are not using the book. I cross my arms. No, I'm not. He looks at the students. They are watching us, waiting. Then he shakes his head. You are brave, Elena, but this is dangerous. I lower my voice. They are learning, Luis. Look at them. Luis scans the classroom. The students are excited. They want to talk. They are not afraid anymore. He sighs, then does something unexpected. He steps forward and says, Okay, let me try. The class gasps. I blink. What? He smiles. I want to see if your method works. He turns to Carlos. I am the hotel receptionist. Good evening, sir. How can I help you? Carlos's eyes widen. Then he takes a deep breath. Hello, I need a room. Luis nods. For how many nights? Carlos looks at me. I whisper. 3 nights. Carlos turns back. For 3 nights. Luis grins. Very good. The students cheer. I feel my heart race. Luis is helping me. Maybe I'm not alone. But then the classroom door opens again. This time it is the director. He stands there looking at Luis, then at me, then at the students. No one moves. He steps inside, looks at the board and reads the words, at the hotel. Then he looks at the students. What is this? Silence. Then Anna, shy Anna, raises her hand. She stands up. Her voice is small but clear. This is English, sir. The room is frozen. The director's face does not change. He looks at me. Come to my office, now. My stomach drops. What will happen now? I gather my things. I feel a hand on my arm. It is Anna. Teacher, she says. I want to learn like this. Please don't stop. I smile, but inside I feel scared. I walk to the director's office. My heart is pounding. We enter. He sits at his desk, his fingers tapping the table slowly. Elena, I told you to follow the book. His voice is calm, but I can feel the tension. I take a deep breath. Sir, the book is not enough. The students need to speak English. They need real situations. He leans back. And you think your way is better? I hesitate, then nod. Yes. The director sighs. Do you know how many teachers have tried to change the system? And do you know what happened to them? I shake my head. He stares at me. They are no longer here. A cold feeling spreads through my chest. Is he saying I will lose my job? Before I can speak, there is a knock at the door. The director frowns. Come in. The door opens, and to my shock, Louise walks in. He looks serious. Sir, I need to say something. The director raises an eyebrow. Louise, this is a private meeting. Louise nods. Yes, but I was in Elena's class today, and I saw something important. He glances at me, then back at the director. The students were speaking English. The director stays silent. Louise continues. Not just reading, Not just memorizing, speaking. They were confident. They were learning in a way that I've never seen before. The director looks at him, then at me. So now you're part of this too? Louise nods. Yes. For a moment, no one speaks. Then the director stands up. He walks to the window, hands behind his back. This school has followed the same method for years, he says slowly. We have rules for a reason. He turns around. But I cannot ignore results. My breath catches. What do you mean? He walks back to his desk. I will observe one more class. If I see real progress, I will think about it. He narrows his eyes. But if I don't, you will go back to the book. I feel my hands trembling. This is my chance, but it is also my test. The next morning I stand in front of my class. My hands are cold. My heart is racing. This is it. The director is watching. If I fail, I lose my chance. I glance at the door. He is there, standing with his arms crossed. Lish is next to him. The students look at me, waiting. I force a smile. Good morning, class. Good morning, teacher, they say, louder than usual. They know today is important. I take a deep breath and write on the board. At the restaurant, the students whisper. They are excited. I turn to them. Today, you will go to a restaurant. You will order food. You will ask for the check. You will speak English. Carlos raises his hand. Teacher, what if we make mistakes? I smile. Mistakes are good. Mistakes help us learn. I set up the activity. Anna is the waitress. Carlos is the customer. The class watches as they begin. Anna. Hello? Welcome. Can I take your order? Carlos hesitates. He looks nervous. I hold my breath. Come on, Carlos, you can do this. He swallows, then says, Yes, I want a hamburger and orange juice. The class claps. I hear a small laugh. I turn my head. The director is smiling. Then something happens. The director steps forward. I freeze. He looks at the students. Then he does something unexpected. He pulls out a chair and sits down. He clears his throat. Excuse me, waitress, he says, looking at Anna. Can I see the menu? The room is silent. The students stare at him, eyes wide. Is this real? Is he playing the game? Anna blinks. She looks at me. I nod. She takes a deep breath. Yes, sir. Here is the menu. The director pretends to read it. What do you recommend? Anna stares at the board, searching for words. Then she smiles. The pizza is very good. The students gasp. Anna is speaking English to the director. The director nods. Okay, I will have the pizza and a soda. Anna writes it down. 1 pizza, 1 soda. Anything else? The director shakes his head. That's all, thank you. The students whisper excitedly. I hold my breath. What is happening? Then the director stands up. He looks at me. My heart stops. Elena, he says, come to my office. I swallow. I nod. As I walk out, I feel every student watching me. Louise gives me a small nod. I follow the director down the hall. My mind is spinning. Was that good? Was that bad? We enter his office. He closes the door. He turns to me, then smiles. Elena, he says, we need to talk. But about what? I stand in the director's office, my hands shaking. He sits at his desk and looks at me. Is this the end? Will he fire me? He leans forward. Elena, he says slowly, do you know how long I have worked in this school? I shake my head. 25 years. He sighs. For 25 years we have used the same method. Books, grammar exercises, vocabulary lists. He pauses. And for 25 years students have left this school unable to speak English. My heart skips a beat. Sir? He looks straight at me. Today I saw something different. I saw students speaking. I saw confidence. I saw learning. I hold my breath. What is he saying? The director sighs and leans back in his chair. Elena, I am not an easy man to convince, but today you convinced me. I blink. I did? He nods. Yes, your method works. The students were engaged. They were thinking. They were using the language, not just memorizing it. A rush of relief fills my chest. I can hardly believe it. Then his face becomes serious again. But, he says, raising a finger, this does not mean you can do whatever you want. You must have structure. You must have a plan. I nod quickly. Of course, sir. I will prepare activities. I will make sure the students learn all the important vocabulary and grammar. He stays silent for a moment, then nods. All right. You have my permission to continue. I feel like I can finally breathe. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. He waves a hand. Don't thank me yet. This is an experiment. If students improve, we will talk about changing the method for all classes. If not, we go back to the book. I smile. They will improve, sir. I promise. He watches me for a moment, then nods. Go back to class, Elena. Do your job. I leave the office, my heart racing, not from fear, but from excitement. As I walk back to my classroom, I see Louise waiting in the hallway. He raises an eyebrow. Well? I grin. We did it. Louise lets out a breath. Seriously? I nod. Seriously. He shakes his head, smiling. I can't believe it. I push open the classroom door. The students jump up. Teacher, what happened? I laugh. We won. They cheer. Anna claps her hands. Carlos pumps his fist in the air. I walk to the board and write 2 big words. Let's talk. I turn to them. All right, class. Today we go to the airport. They laugh. They are excited. They are ready. And for the first time, I know they are really learning English. As I sit at my desk after class, I take a deep breath. Today was a victory. But it was not just my victory. It was theirs. I think about Anna, who was too shy to speak but ordered food in English today. I think about Carlos, who once said, I don't know how, but now speaks with confidence. I think about Ella, who doubted me at first, but became my biggest supporter. And then I think about myself. I was afraid. I almost gave up. I almost followed the rules, even when I knew they were wrong. But learning is not about fear. It is not about rules. It is about using the language, making mistakes, trying again. I smile. Teaching is not about books. It is about opening doors. I stand up and look at the empty classroom. Today I opened a door for my students, and now they are ready to walk through it.